Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
I hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. Happy holidays to everyone on this kind of wild day. So how was your day? Let us know.
Let us know in the chat how your day was. Were you up on the day, down on the day? Anything that you learned from today on this post-holiday trade, or still a holiday trade if you celebrate Boxing Day today? Shout out to everybody that does. Well, welcome to At the Buzz, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this segment is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before. We believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we could take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. This is our first time meeting. I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach for about 2.5 years now, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some of my experiences, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. You are all our chat, our audience. Thanks for hanging out. We know it is a Friday, and thing I'm worried about here in Northeast, at least, we're supposed to be getting a pretty bad snowstorm. I'm going to try to get out of here and get some grocery shopping done. I didn't raid my mom's house enough when I was there for Christmas, so I got to make sure I stock up before we get snowed in for a couple of days here. But Courtney, small green day, tiny green day, $30. Hey, so the discipline, I think, to stay out of the markets after making $30 or losing $30 says a lot, right? There's a lot of incentive or temptation to continue to trade. But if all you saw awarded you $30 and you stop trading, I think that's a really good thing as a trader. You know, we've talked about how these markets may not be presenting great opportunities, and it depends on the market you were looking at. But if that's what it was, small green day, it adds up in the longer time frame. Even if it doesn't add up much dollar-wise, discipline-wise, I think it adds up. It means a lot.
Well, especially in if you're trading equities,
yeah,
basically unchanged. It kind of reflects what the market was giving you.
Right.
So number one, be disciplined.
For sure.
And then but today the show was, and you have it there. Wow.
Yeah. Wow is right. Coach Hoop just said it in the chat. I learned I don't own enough silver. Well, I mean, does anybody? It looks like the demand is far outweighing the supply of this market right now, and it is running to the upside. Not a whole lot to talk about on the news. No planned numbers out today, so we'll just get right into the markets. Today, to the downside, we had heating oil down 2.0%, crude oil down 2.49%, and RBOB gasoline futures, our biggest percentage mover to the downside, down 2.55%. To the upside today, it was all about the metals. If you're looking for a Santa rally, in the metals right now, we got copper up 4.74%, silver up 10.06%, and platinum, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 10.39% on the day to wrap up our biggest percentage movers. In comparison, we'll talk about our big four. Crude oil, we mentioned, down 2.49%. The S&P down 0.07%, basically flat. Gold made a new all-time high as well, up 1.25%. We can mention natural gas up 2.98%, and the Nasdaq down 0.04% on the day. Can somebody tell me where all of the financial markets' attention is going right now?
Well,
it's to the metals.
Flair for the obvious. And one thing I would correct you on that, it's not financial markets. It's almost, I would say it's a distrust of the financial markets.
Okay.
We see that everything else was dead except for the metals.
Right.
That's where big money goes to when they don't trust the financial market. And we've seen this, we've been talking about it, and it continues. But I'm reminiscing when I first started in 1980 as an 18-year-old, marking a board for silver. Silver had limits of $7.50, and it was up or down limit almost every day for 3 months. I'm starting to get that feel. So and now it's becoming so volatile. That's a $35,000 range in a big silver. I'm going to say that again. Let that sink in. Silver had a $35,000 range in the big silver. That's 3,500 in a micro. So if you're going to trade it, even you can't trade the big one. I mean, how can you be wrong? I mean, it's a melt up. But giving some great opportunity. So a 10% move in one day, the day after Christmas, it tells you just how urgent, or it's a crisis to me. So what's going to turn it around? I don't know. We're day traders, but let's look at today's action.
Let's look at it for sure. Our friend Anderbo in the chat says silver China export ban goes into effect Thursday, January 1st. Also, Shanghai arbitrage silver is trading higher than in the US. So maybe we should give up the dream of shorting it. Yeah, I don't see a great reason to sell that market. It looks like if you guys remember cocoa last year, there was not a reason to sell that market until it fell apart. And it looks like the same thing here. Could you make money to the short side in silver? You absolutely could. Is it worth it? That's for you to determine. I know for me and my family, we're not going to be shorting silver anytime soon. You know, if there's no trade, if I can't find a place to buy it, I may just stay out of that market. But with the way it's running right now, it is. You can do it, but I think you have to be very reasonable with your expectations for that trade for now. Just because 10% move to the upside, there's going to be some pullbacks, right? This right here in the middle of the day was this is probably a 4% move or 2% move to the downside. But yeah, it hasn't really presented great sell opportunities. So let's take a look. We don't even need to look at the daily. It's at an all-time high, new all-time high in silver, 78,980 in this futures contract.
I think it'd be interesting to look at the weekly.
We can take a look. Here is the 1 week in silver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to the upside. This is the 5th week. It just closed up 57% in the last 28 trading days. Is that right?
In December.
Yeah.
Let's just say in December.
In December. So, that is a one-directional market. That is a runaway market. Ranges are continuing to expand. And is there going to be a time where it turns around? I'm sure there may be. I just don't want to be the first person to call it. But it could happen. Again, you can make money on both sides. If somebody caught this trade here, there was an opportunity there. And there was maybe a small scalp opportunity when we looked above $75 for the first time. But again, if you're not going in with reasonable expectations, if you're looking at silver and saying there's no reason for this market to be this high, there are a lot of people that are disagreeing with you, and the chart's disagreeing. So just know where your risk is. Just like any trade, right? That doesn't change. It just seems like an easier market to find a place to get in long. On the 30-minute, let's just go with the Shanghai session as the open. We'll frame out that first 30 minutes, but you can see where that volume started to pick up during that Shanghai session. Let's take a look here.
Coach, can you move that background? Yes, there we can see it now.
Couldn't see the charts?
Yeah, they have the silver with the banner to tell you what the contract is.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's take that off. All right.
Okay. We've seen this before.
Yes, we have. Shanghai session, it was pretty quiet, right? From that Shanghai open, it was a flat VWAP, range-bound market. We really started to pick up right before I guess this is London trade for metals, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Europe.
yeah, but just I gotta read up on this market over the weekend and what might be going on here. I saw Dakota. He just posted on Twitter. He just put on his biggest position of the year, long some miners in silver. I think fundamentally, a lot of people are just seeing this market going to continue to run. We'll see what happens here. Anything you want to talk about on this 30-minute chart here?
Yeah, but it was interesting. We had gapped up before Shanghai opened. So something happened over the weekend. And it was particular to silver. They came after it, as you can see from right on the opening. Even before Shanghai, the Globex open, and we haven't seen that. So now there's a backstory of banks are short the silver, and they're short paper silver, and the story goes that China's going to force them to deliver something they don't have.
Hmm.
That's the talk. I don't know, but what I do know is looking at this flow. First of all, we talk about where's the 200 moving average on the half hour. We're above it. We're above the 20. We gap up. Just looking at that, we have good information. The flow is a solid upflow. That doesn't mean, and you'll never hear me say it, it's a guaranteed buy. Someone tells you it's a guaranteed win, run away. But now we have some information coming in from the opening. Is that I don't want to. For me, I don't want to fade this. If you're going to buy it, you have to. What do you have to do? We talk about it all to frame out your risk. So let's say you just waited for the first half an hour and bought it after it's settled.
Okay.
On the Globex Open, your risk is to new lows. To me, how much is that? Now, we see this chart, and is that the Globex Open?
Yeah. So here's the Globex open here. If you wait for the candle
Yeah.
to close outside, that's your long.
All right.
It looks
On
like
that
a small
basis-
move because the chart does a great job of consolidating the price data. But we got to remember this axis over here, this y-axis over here, makes these candles look a lot smaller. We're talking about a 2.5% move. Almost $1.75 in silver. It's not a little bit of money. So that's a wide stop, especially if you're trading the bigger contract
That's $750 to $800
with a micro.
with a micro.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Is it? Can you afford that? You could. Okay, let's say you bring it down. Go. Well, I'm not. I'm just going to put in. I'm going to make it a 10-cent stop.
Oh, you're getting stopped out.
You're going to get stopped off early and often.
Yeah.
Or you have to be pinpoint perfect in your entry. Now, that's asking a lot. At some point, I looked at it. I go, I can't afford to trade this. That's where we're at.
Right.
For me. If you're going to trade it, that's what you have to look at. What's the average true range on a half hour?
About 50 cents.
50
And
cents.
when it really started to rally through the rest of the day, that got closer to 70 cents.
So that's in a half an hour. Let's say the 5-minute?
5-minute, closer to a quarter, 25 cents.
25 cents. So trade it on the 5-minute, find your spot, and you have to be good. If you're just learning how to trade, I would not suggest trading this market.
Nope.
It's tempting.
You're gonna see a
But
lot of people making a lot of money trading this market right now, right? Just it's just the nature of the market. It's an expensive market to trade, but most people who are having success or showing success in this market and are going to be able to do it consistently probably have an account that can facilitate the swings of this market. Some people are going to hit it with a prop account as well, but if you want to do it sustainably, I agree. Trade the micros first and foremost, and maybe you are looking at a shorter time frame, because that stop on a 30-minute, I mean, it's a lot.
now, what do we see on that low?
It wasn't exactly a J trade. It didn't make the low of the day, but we came back into the first 5 minute, and we saw this on the 30-minute as well, right? We came back into this range, and I honestly, what I'm looking for in silver is something exactly like this, right? If I'm going to trade this market, personally, I cannot trade if it's near a high. I'm just not going to do it. Can it continue to go? It can, but these pullbacks are so aggressive that we hear Mohammed say it all the time. I need to look for a failed selling move first. And then I'm buying it off the failed selling moves. And we do see these pullbacks, right? These pullbacks, this is not just a blind buy market, because this pullback here could get you out, right? That's not a cheap pullback here. This is 0.75%. You know, can you facilitate that? But if you're waiting for some of these pullbacks before you get in, I think there's some real opportunity. Silver's making new all-time highs as we speak.
You sell it. No,
Yeah.
Looking at the weekly, are we going to close on the high?
That's what it looks like. That is what it looks like. 79.60 new all-time high in the futures contract. We were talking about it during Power Hour. Are we going to see this run to 80? And we still got 30 minutes. We still got 30 minutes to go. And it very well could run that $80 level here. This is pretty wild to see. Again, not a market that I would want to short, but like we were saying, looking for some of these failed selling moves gives you opportunity, I think. And you got to wait. You got to be patient, right? We saw some selling start in here. It's a 3% sell off before we are able to buy it. It's going to require a lot of patience, right? If I'm trading this market, and I've traded a couple times, I legit have to sit here and ask myself, have I waited for a pullback before I buy? Because if I don't, I'm accepting that pullback is a real possibility before I get stopped out. Like Coach Paul said, you have to trade this really well, because there's not a lot of room for error, even with small size.
As you said earlier, you could have a big account.
Or that.
And you could turn it in, and if you don't trade it well, you could turn it into a small account.
Or no account.
But the opportunity is there, and I'm not here to tell people not to.
Right.
I really am not. But if you're going to understand, it's very tempting. You have to be on top of your game. You cannot be sloppy here.
100%. All right, let's take a look then at gold, the other metal market that made an all-time high today. 45.84 evens, new all-time high in this futures contract. Here's the daily in gold. Another one. Just continuing to rally. Take a look at the 30-minute. Gold is maybe a little bit more forgiving than silver is, but another one where I would suggest trading the micros, because we do get these sharp pullbacks here as well. These look like small moves, but the higher gold goes, the higher that daily ATR sits, and just the nature of this market is going to be more volatile, right? The NASDAQ trading at 25,000 is way different than the NASDAQ trading at 10,000. And that's what we're seeing in the metal markets now, right? Some of these, the prices of some of these markets have doubled in the last 6 months. So it may look the same. It's just not the same market. What are you seeing here in gold, Coach Paul?
Well, a very bullish market, but it wasn't an easy trade today. It vacillated hard. What I mean by it was it stopped and it looked like it was going to break. We had that last week. We had that action at the middle of the day. It just starts breaking. We did that. We did it like 3 or 4 times today. It's not just a buy it and walk away. But the way I look at it is I am not getting short this market. I'm just trying to find a place to buy it. It's and these swings are big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look off that top.
Yeah, this is
I think we broke $30.
made an all-time high and broke $37, which gold, and that was a small one, right? We've seen gold do that, and it broke $60, $80. So there are these shorts available. I think if you're going to look for them after we make an all-time high. It has a higher probability. I think just watching gold, you see a couple of these, right? Here's an all-time high, but also this was an all-time high, right? So where do you determine that? I think honestly, if you're going to short the metals and there have been some good trades, I think you have to read the flow of the market, right? And what it looks like is we just get a little too extended from volume. The market in this case was trading, 30 points above VWAP, and VWAP was pretty flat. But another one where it may just be better suited for us to find opportunities to buy. But what we say here is not trading advice. We know that there are going to be traders that short it. There's going to be traders that get long and lose, right? I think what we have to have is a game plan for trading any of these things. Because if I wanted to just blind buy gold, it doesn't work. Opening range trade. I want to talk about the opening range trade this morning. I took the opening range trade on a 1 minute this morning during the opening call. I could have held on to that one all day in hindsight. There was a level that I wanted to manage the trade at, and that was 45.55s because I saw some selling that came in there earlier today. But here is that 1 minute opening range. Could have bought it 3 times that same price. I actually did buy it later in the day. That's where my profit came from today. Getting long in these lower 50s. But here you go. Opening range trade. Is that urgency or is that urgency, Coach Paul?
That's pretty urgent. And that was the COMEX.
Yeah. Yep.
And look at that. Opening range was tiny.
Yeah.
So
2.5 points.
But it gives it. This is a relentless buying dips. Who's going to sell it? Sellers would have to look for some kind of blow off top, and we're not even close to seeing that. So it has potential. The last time we had a blow off top and we corrected, we had a wild number. I think it was 4,800.
The price.
Yeah, on a Fibonacci move of the next. I think it was like 4,800.
Okay.
Well, we're getting real close to that.
You'll see it. You'll see it in the volume. Right now, the volume is pretty average. On those sell-off days that we did have, that blow-off top, we saw a ton of volume come into this market. But right now, this is just a consistent grind up. I keep looking at this 1 minute trade. That is just that trade was never invalidated the entire day. I like the way we take that house. I like the way we take the trade. Looking at a 5 minute, a 1 minute. I took it on a 5 minute, but even I took it on a 1 minute, but even the 5 minute held. There's that 5 minute range there. Held up pretty nice. Pretty bullish market here. Would you mind explaining the anchor VWAP that you had on your gold chart? Yeah. So this one, I took the trade on a 1 minute. This anchor is to the opening range, right? So I'm anchored to that first minute there. And that's why that's anchored there. So same way I would anchor to the open on the equities, right? Equities open up at 9:30 Eastern time. I'm going to anchor a VWAP there as well. And then throughout the day, I'll anchor to some high volume. I had another anchor when I was on with Andre and Grant earlier. I can't remember exactly where that was, but there was another high volume spike. I think it was this one right here. think it was that. But it turned out to be flat, flat VWAP pretty much the rest of the day. Really no volume up here at these highs. Yeah, go ahead, Coach Paul.
I'm sorry, I just have to laugh. It is pretty flat, and look at that movement to the upside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's really, and this market is trapped short. You could sell it, you better be quick. You know, the old saying, there's the quick and the dead. That's
Yep.
That's what we have here.
100%. All right.
It was a
Yeah, go ahead.
wild market today too. Well, let's look at copper.
Oh, we're almost at the high. We are almost at the high. Do we see copper at $10? That's my question. I look at this chart and that's what I see here. If all the other metals are going to run like this, do you see copper at $10? We'll see. ACH. What are you seeing here on the daily?
We've been clawing back, as you said, off of that. Wasn't it a tariff tantrum?
That was a tariff
it?
candle. Yeah, we saw that 25% sell off in copper. We have not traded that high since that candle printed. It's sitting right below $6 right now. This could get interesting, right? If all the other metals are going to do it, copper, you've been in this consolidation or not even a consolidation. We've been in this range for 105 days. Think somebody had some time to accumulate a copper position here. Who knows?
Well,
but
also that break was all just talk.
Correct.
So we have a J trade. But point. Of all the metals, this has the most bullish fundamentals.
Okay.
There's, they call copper Dr. Copper. It's a function of economics more than any other metal. It's in everything.
Yeah.
But there is a shortage of production. So when you say $10, I'm a technician. Yeah. So all those pennies that you just threw away that are in your canal are worth 10 cents. If you have 10,000 of them,
right,
do the math.
It's a couple bucks.
People will be robbing their children's penny collection. Only if they're copper now. It's hard to find copper pennies.
Right.
I have a bunch of them. I quit watching for them. But yeah, that's technically, I mean, we could be talking about a big move in copper. It's the one that has the biggest fundamental reason to rally.
Curious, what happens up at this high? Copper today was up 5%. What happens at this high of that tariff candle? Because if we remember, copper was kind of rallying before that happened.
Yeah,
it was moving to the upside. Then all of a sudden we get tariffs on copper, sell off 25% in the day. This probably has the most aggressive sell-offs that we've seen based on headlines out of all the other metal markets this year, at least. So we'll see if it catches on with the trend. Right now, it looks like it's going to. Today, I think, was a big sign of that. Big volume, biggest range we've seen in a little while, and trading back through this tariff candle. That high right now, $5.98. We'll see what happens up there. All right. I mean, today's about the metals. Why not? Platinum closing above 2,500. Platinum has been our biggest percentage mover to the upside or downside, because we did have this down day consistently over the past. What is this? Look at this chart, man. This is a 50% move in 11 trading days. And today, platinum was up 11.33%, making new highs again as we speak here. These are new highs of the year. I do not believe these are all-time highs yet in platinum. I'll pull up a trading view chart and try to get what that price is. But another one, this is getting more expensive to trade. I'm going to hear a lot of people talk about metals in the next month or two, or you've heard us talking about metals. While they're presenting opportunity, they're getting more expensive to trade. I used to earlier this year go to platinum when I wanted to trade the metals because gold was too expensive. It's not no longer the case. Platinum is as expensive as it is to trade gold right now, in my opinion. With the volatility that we're seeing on a daily basis, 10% moves, they go pretty quick in this platinum market. What are you seeing here, Coach Paul?
Oh, this market here, is this platinum?
This is platinum. Oh, this is a 5-minute chart. I can go back out to a higher
Yeah, I was
time
going to say that looks very bullish, but
Here's a 30.
30, and look at how big these opening ranges are. We saw it in gold, silver, copper, platinum. I looked at it last time. I wanted to buy it, and I'm like, wow, I can't afford to take the risk. Yet it was the trade. That I think what is that? It was like $185 opening half hour.
130.
100. I'm sorry, 130.
And these are all-time highs, by the way.
So it's a panic across. Remember, when we started, it's across the board in metals. It's not going into financials. I personally think this is a reflection of a trade war with tariffs. We see this is it's not stopping. And it's picking up steam. I think coming into the new year, who knows? Like in 1980, when gold went to 800, it started from a base of like 200.
It's 4 times.
So,
yeah, that's
when you get stuck like this,
new highs.
And platinum has been lagging. It has some. It's got some catching up to do. I mean, there was a point with gold. Platinum used to be higher than gold.
Yeah, these are all-time highs. Looking at the spot platinum market, these are all-time highs. So any new high tick in platinum now, we can start saying all-time highs. So, and everyone was looking for the Santa rally. We've spent the last 30 minutes only talking about metals because we say it at the beginning of every one of these streams. Our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. And right now, the trend opportunity, and I consider myself a momentum trend trader, all the momentum right now is going to the metals. It's kind of hard to ignore. I think we would be doing a disservice to all of us as traders if we weren't talking about the markets that are moving. Not to say that you have to trade them all. Again, we want to make it known that while there is opportunity in these markets, there's opportunity to lose as well, right? So if you're going to go trade the metals, make sure you have a game plan. Do what Mandy did earlier today. She was trading silver in a combine and not in her XFA. Why is that? She doesn't want to put risk somewhere where she's not familiar with the movement of that market, because you're going to learn a lot if you try to trade these markets. You could do what Coach Vince did earlier this week. Traded in a practice account. Made 30 grand in a practice account trading silver. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I still got a lot to learn about trading this market. And Vince has been trading for a long time. So right now, the metals, and as we are speaking, platinum is making all-time highs.
This is on a Friday late.
There's 15
in a holiday market.
Right. This is kind of crazy to watch right now.
Someone said pretty girls love 420. Yeah, short squeeze. Yes. That's why so this is where the action's at. Can you afford it? I have a feeling that the exchange is going to do a nano trade on this, because it comes to a point like, well, here, if you're going to need on the micros just to trade silver right now, if you weren't in a prop firm, if you wanted to open an account and trade it, your broker's not. It's going to be I got to find out. It's like it's going to be $10,000 minimum.
You looking for margin requirements?
Yeah, for a micro.
I can look it up real quick. Platinum making new all-time highs up. What is this now? 11.9%
on the day.
On the day. All right, so let me take a look here. I trade with AMP for a personal account. I could probably bring this up. We'll take a look because I I think a lot of brokerages increased their margin requirements recently, especially for silver. Let's pull this up really quick. That you guys got any questions for
Well,
us? We said we were going to make this
well,
a quick one, but go ahead.
no, it's too much fun. They always say that.
Yeah.
Here, Monica Smith, thanks for this. Repos at 17 billion was required from the Fed because of the margin calls, RE silver. So earlier we talked about banks. There's a bank, I won't name names. Think of the biggest bank, you know. They're short and they're being squeezed. And if they can't come up with the money, what do? They're not like you and I. They can go to the what? The Fed.
Right.
Very interesting. Thanks for that, Monica. And like I said, this is, to me, it's a reflection of trade wars. I don't want your paper.
Right.
Santa's delivering the rally and the medals. This is historic movements here.
For sure. All right. Sorry, everybody, for what is about to happen. I'm just letting everybody know the screen is about to be a white background. There's nothing I can do. I changed my browser to dark mode. But here are our margin requirements. Transition. Here you go. White background here. All right. What were we looking for? Silver?
Silver.
All right. So silver right now, day trade, big silver, right? To day trade it, you need at least $6,000 in an account to trade one contract of the big silver. Micros, you need at least $1,200 in an account to trade one, and that's just a day trade. Again, these requirements have increased. I think they increased margin requirements about 2-3 months ago. And like Coach Paul said, you don't have to worry about this trading a prop account, but I think you kind of do, right? Because what that tells you is that the exchange knows and the brokerages know that there's a lot more risk in trading these markets. And it's going to cost more to do that. Go ahead, Coach Paul.
That margin was before today's move.
Correct.
So I'm going to get a text very soon.
Yeah.
And the margin's going to change.
Going to change.
Margin is basically a function of the average true range.
Right.
They work hand in glove. Now, at 1,200, that's for a micro.
Mm-hmm.
What was today's range? $7.
Yeah, right.
The micro range was $3,500. They're going to go up.
Right.
They are.
Right.
Now, with that said, at 1,200, you could easily blow out in an hour.
5 minutes. It could be 5 minutes the way this market moves. And again, do you have to worry about this trading a Topstep account? You don't. But if the requirement just to get in the door, you have to have $1,200 in your account, a $50K account starts off with a $2,000 drawdown. That's max, right? So even if you're trading one micro silver, that's more than half of your account is required just to get in the door to be able to trade these markets. And again, you do have the leverage of trading a prop account. It is your real money, but you don't have to have that margin in the account to trade it. But everyone knows that these are extremely volatile markets. You could see what the requirements are for everything else here. To trade a big silver, you need almost 3 times the amount that you would need to trade a big gold contract, which you need $2,200 in your account. And don't even, begin to talk about what you need to hold overnight, right? And these are favorable margins for day trading, right? You look at some other platforms, they're not giving you day trade margins, right? In order to be in the contract, you need to cover the maintenance margin in order to do it. But getting expensive to trade these things.
So someone, Seth Dominus, who will backstop the Fed? You and I, U.S. citizens. Go look at the history of 2008. Um, like I said, this is I really believe this is part of a trade war.
Yep.
So, well, we did enough on metals today.
Yeah.
No, it's been hot.
Yeah. Can you hold overnight with amp? You can. Yeah. If you have the maintenance margin to cover it, you definitely can. If you're wondering why we spent the first 30 minutes talking about the metals, this is what the Nasdaq looked like today. And I think the grocery store is still open for a couple hours. I better go before the lines get too long. Uh, anything you want to talk about on the Nasdaq here?
Um, I have nothing to say. You know what? There was no risk. There was no money in here. Look at the volume.
Right.
Now, as discussion for next week, but yeah, it was dead. What can you say?
Yeah. Pretty dead market here. If you're a range trader, maybe you did kind of welcome this. It was a nice range trade, but on the entire day, high to low range, I think had 98 points or about 100 points, and that kind of goes to tell you. And this is where we talk about, this brings me back to my stock trading, running a scanner, literally 100 stocks on a scanner, and find the one that's moving. That's what this felt like. It felt like all the money moved to the metals because it either wanted to or had to. And, you know, the equities are not presenting much opportunity, right? We say it all the time. There's opportunity in imbalance in the markets, and the metal markets are out of balance right now. More demand than supply, more buyers than sellers, more aggressive buying than selling, whether they're, getting their shorts in a short squeeze or buyers that are required to buy this market right now. We're looking for the opportunity. That's where the money's moving right now. Equity's pretty quiet. We go across the board. The S&P, Dow, even very range bound. And just like we wouldn't talk about crude oil if it wasn't moving, there's not a lot to say about the equities right now. I do want to say though, this still looks heavy to me on a higher time frame. We'll see what happens when the volume comes in. I'm probably not really expecting a ton of volume to come in before the new year. But this still looks heavy, and I don't think we're done trading this October 10th candle.
The candle.
Yeah, I don't think we're done.
The mother of all candles.
Right. That's prediction, though. We'll see what happens. Anything you want to?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. We rallied on very light volume.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to overthink this. There wasn't much opportunity today. If you're a range trader, you got a good range. If you're a scalper, it would be hard to get into trouble, but it's very limited opportunity. As you can see, you just said it. So let's look at the half hour today.
It was pretty flat. Looking at last night's open, I don't think VWAP ever left this 30-minute range.
No, and
range bound market.
VWAP, it traded around it, 7, 8, 9 times?
The whole day. Which, again, back to the point of range bound traders might find opportunity in this. Any of these extensions can be your opportunities on either side, but I think that requires a lot of patience. And to me, I think when I realized that maybe I'm not the best range bound trader is, your eye is going to go to something that you can repeat all the time. And a lot of times it looks like a breakout in a range bound market, but then you zoom out and you realize the market's not going anywhere. When I see VWAP this flat, if my entries are anywhere near this red line, I'd be better off flattening the trade than letting it play out to whatever is going to happen, right? If you can wait for the extremes, wait for these extensions, we swept below the low, we go from there, but it starts to feel like a 50-50 in the middle. Darnell says, reversal challenge says you're not that bad at range trading. I just don't prefer to do it. I don't prefer to do it. And if you see what happens, how we pulled money out of that, I was literally, every time we got 4 ticks in profit, just flipping. These were inverted risk reward trades. I was basically saying I don't care where the risk is going to go. If I get 4 ticks in the profit, I'm going to flip. It's not a way to really trade, right? Because at some point it's going to run against you. Waiting for 4 ticks, and the market's 400 ticks against you, and you're waiting for it to come back in the range. You know, probably not a great strategy, but it worked. It works for a reversal challenge. I'll keep that in my playbook. All right. Anything else you want to talk about here, Coach Paul? Want to wrap?
Let's look at the opening 3-minute just to
Oh, yeah.
verify that this market. Now, that's the VWAP. Never left the range.
Those
And the
extensions are
further
nice.
we went on, yeah. So what does that mean? That means there was no there was no imbalance. Everything got worked to the middle.
Yep.
Now, how do you know that's going to happen?
You wait until the end of the day. You wait until at the buzzer so we can review it. Yeah.
But you got a clue after the first 3 minutes when VWAP didn't leave the range and we made new lows. And then we came back. To me, it's like, that's it. I didn't trade it. There was nothing here that I saw as an opportunity. But once again, I'm not that range trader, but we've had this conversation before. To me, if price left that opening range, VWAP didn't, we went to new lows, came all the way, man, right there. You're probably on top of that. We're 1 day trading between Christmas and the Christmas holiday and the weekend.
Yeah.
And that way, you also have to think is you're a big money manager. You're not going to allocate huge amounts of capital in equities on a day like today.
No.
So,
all right, let's take a look here. I think that's it. We got a request for ZB. He says low margin requirements here. We haven't really been talking about the treasury products that much because they kind of look like this. It's very similar to what we were just talking about with the equities. I don't see much opportunity here personally. What about you, Coach Paul?
it's dead. And it's low margin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that, you can.
Sorry, I had to pull up silver. It's making new all-time highs. Go ahead.
There you go. There's a reason it's a low margin. There's not much volatility in it.
Yep.
Now, you look at, wow, that's dead. If what you can do is trade bigger size.
Right, lower volatility. You could size up for sure,
but there's not much in there. So, what else is making new all-time highs as we speak?
Silver just did 79,700, new all-time high in the futures contract close. That's an all-time high close as well. Markets are now closed, JD, and silver closing on its highs. Next week is going to be another great week of trading if you're trading in the metal markets. I do not think that we're going to see that volume slow down. Again, look at the daily volume in silver today, above the average. Look at the daily volume in gold, right at the average. Copper, above average. Platinum, at the average. NASDAQ, half of the average. The S&P, half of the average. So where's the volume moving to? Going to the metals right now. It's not going to stay that way. Honorable mention, I have to shout out crude oil today just because it was a nice trade. 1 minute opening range breakout trade. Took it very simply on the 1 minute opening range. I flattened this trade because I had to go to the vet, but never invalidated. Really nice trade there in crude oil today.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say, Coach Paul, before we go? Yep. It's crazy because today's Friday, but it feels like Monday.
Yeah, it's painful.
Right.
And let's see. It's interesting. We have crude collapsing and the metals at all-time highs and going straight up. once again, a reflection that this is a financial crisis. It's a lack of trust in financial markets. And when you, because you ever see crude, this isn't about inflation at this point. And then there's more evidence of that. So I don't see how it turns around in a few days.
Yeah.
I think 2026 is going to be rife with volatility. I'm not a predictor, but this is setting up.
Yeah.
You said earlier, you just gave a feeling the setup in the Nasdaq feels heavy.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know. I don't want to predict. We'll trade what happens.
no, but we know this. There's always opportunity in different markets. If you're a good trader and you have a good trading plan, guess what? You can trade anything.
Yep.
You don't have to be stuck. There's nothing worse than being stuck in a place that's not moving.
Yeah.
There's the old saying, even a skunk couldn't make a cent in this market. Understand, that's the beauty of futures. You get to trade. When you talk about 35 different places, out of that, 10 places you can trade.
Yep.
So,
especially if you're in a simulated account, you don't even got to pay for the data right now. Get to a live account, different story, but in a simulated account, like Baskin Robbins, we got more flavors. All right. We got one more question here for you here, Coach Paul, from our friend Genius Monkey. If the metals go up, do you think equities will pull back at some point? Please help. Just an opinion.
My opinion is yes. And the way I would play that is sell call spreads, but we can't.
Right.
But yeah, I think so. That's kind of what I'm getting, that feeling. All right.
Awesome stuff.
Enjoy your weekend. Plan your trade your plan.
Good stuff, everybody. If you are getting some of this weather that we're about to receive, be safe out there. Try to make a grocery store run. Fine as well. Get snowed in. Get snowed in for the rest of the weekend. But be safe out there, everyone. When we come back next week and trading the markets, be safe in the markets. Make sure trading with a stop, trading with a plan for tomorrow. Thanks for joining us even on this Monday feeling Friday. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. We appreciate you. Coach Paul, appreciate you. Coach Hoop as well for helping us moderate this thing. And JD for hanging out. I saw you in the chat, JD. See you all next week. Have a good one. Bye.